Now, Al-Anon is basically the dry side of the bottle, right? So you have the alcoholic who lives inside the bottle, right? You have the Al-Anon who's on the outside of the bottle, right? Now, that those people that are on the outside, as if you actually work through the 12 steps, and I've been lucky enough to work through the 12 steps in all three programs. So seeing it from the alcoholic's perspective, the Al-Anon perspective, and we'll get into ACA here shortly, but the Al-Anon perspective, you start to find out that fuck, we're just like the alcoholic. We don't use, but what we end up finding out is that the people are our addiction, meaning the alcoholic is the addiction, meaning the people that we need to fix become our addiction,
So
meaning
in your dad's
our
context,
codependency.
you're saying your dad was your addiction?
No, my ex-wife and my ex-girlfriend were my addiction.
Okay. So, how would that translate if your dad being
Okay, so that's where adult children of alcoholics
okay?
comes
So
in,
that's
right?
okay. Got it.
That's a whole other program. You're like, holy shit, dude,
Yeah.
you're a
No, my
triple
mind's
crown
trying to
winner.
piece this together. So
Yeah.
the
So
women.
adult children of alcoholics start to deal with now how I was introduced to adult children of I was seeing a psychiatrist at that time, and I had such rage issues when it came to the relationship that I had with my dad. He and I, at best, our relationship was tenuous, right? That's like at best. He and I never really saw eye to eye on anything, right? I mean, I know he tried, but we were just too separate in our thinking, and I describe a lot of that in the book. However, uh, I ended up getting introduced to ACA. I was dealing with I went to anger management, not and I call it anger management, but it wasn't like a court ordered anger management. What ended up happening was prior to my ex-wife and I getting married, we had a split up because I blew a fucking gasket, and we were over the phone. So it wasn't even like a physical, but it was just like I was just in this fit of rage because of a circumstance that had transpired, and I wasn't getting any feedback. I was getting I was getting for lack of a better word, ignored, right? For an extended period of time. And of course my insecurities took over, and so I blew a gasket when I finally got it. And she's just like, yeah, whatever, we're breaking up. And I'm like, fuck, I don't blame you. But I ended up going to see it. I don't. Ended up going and seeing a shrink to deal with my anger issues, because I mean, my anger issues didn't just come up in that situation.
Yeah.
I used to throw grenades on even business relationships, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, anger is going to come out irresponsibly when it's not dealt with, right? Like it's lashed out at usually the wrong people, but yeah.
right. Or there's no way of really focusing on it in a healthy way. We don't develop a healthy way, it was just like usually it ended up anger. It was either you're lashing out, like cursing at somebody, or you're getting in a fucking blackout rage fight, right? It's like, where you see red and you see nothing else. So I went to a shrink to go deal with that situation. And as a result, I ended up getting introduced to adult children of
Mm,
alcoholics, which
mm.
is another 12-step program built on the principles of both AA and Al-Anon, but it deals with the children and trying to delve back into, for me,